Worst possible start for you, wasn't it, last week? And I suppose that then you're facing an uphill battle from that point.
It was. Obviously it was really disappointing. We travelled there in really good spirits as well, and really confident on the back of previous performances. And like you say, the first couple of minutes of the game is really poor on our behalf in terms of how we defended that moment, and it almost knocked her. But I do think the response was there. We had a couple of chances straight afterwards through Katie Watson on transition and Alna Dale. Not saying they were great chances, but there were opportunities where potentially we could have done better. But yeah, it was a really tough evening for her.
Do you think there's an element of Bristol City looking for a response because they'd drawn with Ipswich, was probably a result that nobody expected?
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke to Charlotte afterwards, had a good half an hour with her afterwards, and she wanted a response from her team. She wanted to try and get in behind when hurt, which they really struggled with at Ipswich. And look, they're a really good team. They're up there really challenging. Hopefully they'll go on and beat more teams and do us a favour in that respect. But yeah, they were a dangerous team, and we played with a 5 size of the pitch. I think it's the 5th biggest pitch in the country. We wanted to really eliminate the half spaces for them because that's how they play. But unfortunately it didn't quite go how we wanted it to, and we have to dust ourselves down and have another response against Sheffield.
A couple of new faces in though this week, so can you tell us a little bit about both of them? I mean, both ends of the experience axis.
Yeah, so Mary Griffiths, obviously on loan from Man United, really promising, exciting young player who is really highly thought of at Wales. So I had a good conversation with Rhiannon Wilkinson, the Wales head coach. It's now an important step for Mary to try and get some senior minutes and kind of push on in that respect for her. So she's an attacking midfielder or can operate in a wide area, really skillful, really direct, quick, and has got an eye for goal. So hopefully between now and the end of the season, everyone can see what Marriod's about. And obviously Cara Hamilton, who we've got in from Forest, delighted to get someone in of that experience who has played a lot of times for Forest this season as well. So really fortunate to get that one done in Northern Ireland Senior International. And I think the reaction from the group this week in training, you can tell there's 2 new players in there because everyone's kind of gone up a notch as well. So that's important. We wanted a little kick. We wanted to bring some good players in to freshen the squad up, and we feel like we've done that.
Do you sometimes think that there is a complacency can set in with the squad? I mean, it's interesting you say that 2 new faces suddenly, hang on, I've got to go on my game here because I could be the one that misses out. Yeah,
obviously we've lost 3 defenders, the 2 loans that went back, and Mary Corbin. So Mary's going to be out for the season. She had an ankle operation yesterday. She rolled her ankle a good couple of weeks ago now, and she's had to have surgery to kind of tighten everything up in and around the joint. So we were a defender light, so it was really important to get some players in that position to kind of add depth to that back line as well. So yeah, delighted with both of them.
And you're back at Eppleton. I mean, it's inhospitable at the best of times, but at the moment that possibly could work in your favour.
Yeah, like it is what it is. Control the controllables. We enjoy playing at Eppleton. The weather at the moment as well. It's not going to be a pretty game if the weather and the wind and the rain stays the same. So we've had a good chat this morning in terms of when we've named the team, and we've done our shape and set pieces, and outlaid it to the players of the importance of the game. They're below win the table. These are the games that you have to win. The pressure's there for everyone that we have to try and get 3 points and move away from where they are in the league table.
And it comes back to what you said at the start and your conversations at Bristol City. You need a response.
Absolutely. We've felt good over the last couple of weeks because we've been in good form and we've picked up points. And you've got to chase that feeling. The feel-good feeling, but not be complacent with it. You've got to do all the basics. We've got to defend well, which we have done before the Bristol game, and we've got to be relentless. There's not many games left. We have to, take every game as it comes, but you have to want to more than the opposition. You have to be able to step up and produce in them moments, defensively and offensively.
When you look at the rest of the season now, you obviously at a point now where it looks like the top three, which obviously would have been hopefully the goal at the start of the season, looks difficult. Is there a kind of an emphasis on now on trying to make sure the season does almost fizzle out and trying to get that energy and that focus to try and push up the table as much as you can?
Yeah, I still think there's lots of points to play for. It's still pretty close in that middle pack as well, so again it's about finishing as high up as we possibly can. There's no specific target for us in terms of like we have to finish in a certain position. You know, we're all professional, we're all ambitious. Yes, we were wanting to finish in that third position. Is it still impossible? No, but we have to make sure we apply ourselves correctly in every game that we play in order to try and be competitive and get points out of it.
I mean, when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, you weren't sure whether you'd be able to get anyone in. How pleased are you when we were just talking about there about trying to not let the season fizzle out, to bring that little bit of injection of energy and freshness with 9 games or whatever it is left?
Yeah, I'm really pleased, and I think the 2 players are really exciting, probably both at different stages of their career, but will certainly add quality to the group and competition for places.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.